Oh, what's up, guys? How are y'all doing today? Look, guys, I know we've been going through this series of identity theft. You know, we've been arrested. We had to look in the mirror. We found out our debt was paid in full and many other things. So today, it is the end of it. But I had it all mapped out in my head of how it was going to end, of how things were going to go after this series, how I was going to feel so empowered and we were going to break the chains. But today, I find myself feeling very, very, very different. I found myself throughout this series going through some things that you couldn't tell I was going through when you saw me here on Sundays. But the best thing, like I said in the beginning, this ministry is built off of being honest and transparency. So today, it was about the cost. We talked about how Jesus paid it all, P-I-F, paid in full. We talked about the verdict, how we found out we were not guilty. Woo! But today, the cost. To where we talked about what Jesus actually went through, knowing our debt was paid in full, knowing that we were found not guilty. And today, I wanted to paint the picture of what that looked like for Jesus, but I felt the Spirit redirect me. We do know that it cost Jesus his life. It caused the people who he came to die for to reject him. It caused him to lose friends. It caused people to look at him with shame. And that's what it cost him. And I want you to think about that as we transition for this short time. I don't have the energy today. I don't. I really don't. You know, something that we call spiritual warfare. When we are doing things of God, when we are being obedient, when we find our identities, when we break the chains of social media, when we find out who we are in Christ, when all of those things happen, I'm here to tell you that makes Satan, the serpent, the enemy, come even harder. So be ready and be aware because he is coming. And today, we're going to acknowledge him to where we still will talk about the cost of what it takes to follow Jesus when we find our identities. For the past month or so, Electric Kids, parents, I've been feeling a little low. I've been feeling like I've been having weight carrying me. I've been carrying it every day. All this stuff, all this happy stuff, you know. I was still happy. I was still doing everything I was doing. But inside, this was taking a toll on me. So this past Monday, I got invited to a conference at Dallas Baptist University, where we call DBU, where our very own Jeremiah Austin is a student there. He's doing great things. Woo, woo! Great man, great man. So I was at the conference, right? And I was feeling what I was feeling. There's been a lot of things on my mind. I'm like, God, okay, I'm doing all this stuff in my life and something has to go. I have to commit. I have to be all in. I'm teaching my kids about identity. We walk through broken pieces. When God breaks us, he reconciles us. He restores us. But I find myself feeling like a dark cloud is walking over me everywhere I go. I had conversations with people trying to get help. I reached out to people. I tried to push through on my own, but without God, I cannot push through. So I was at this conference, and the pastor who spoke said something. It's someone called Stephen in the Bible. He was a disciple, and he was committed to Jesus. He was stoned to death for confessing and believing in Jesus and all of this stuff. But until his death, until the very end, he still chose to believe in Jesus, even if it cost him his life. Same thing for Jesus as we're talking about the cost. This man was murdered, was killed because he believed in Jesus. And this is a disciple, someone who chose to follow Jesus. And as we think of today in our culture, with our society, with everything going on around us, with our busy lives, pastors or teachers or stay-at-home parents, whatever you are, we all have to make a choice, and we all have to consider the cost of what it looks like to be a disciple in our lives. So this pastor was preaching, and it was so good. And he had something, I don't know if you can see, but it's okay, a poker chip, right? He had a lot of poker chips. And he had them all. He talked about what gambling meant, and he put all of them on the table, because I'm not about to educate y'all on what that is, but he put all of the poker chips on the table. And he said, this is how we need to be in life. We have to go all in for Jesus. He said, maybe you have to get rid of those things that you love so dear. Maybe you have to stop playing games all the time. Maybe you're going to have to sacrifice things to commit fully to the works of Jesus. And I want you all to hear this, because after going through this series, after gaining your identity, you must, elect your kids, be committed to the work. So he had all of them down, and he said, this is our lives. And what he did, he threw all of the chips into the crowd, right? I was like on the 5th or 6th row, man. I was way back here. He was way up there in the pulpit. And I'm a person, this here. Now, he did say at the end, you can come pick up your chips, okay? To be a symbol of when you committed to the works of Jesus. So I said, man, I don't ask for signs. I believe God can do anything. I believe he is powerful. He is miraculous. And I do believe that he do show things to people through signs, through dreams, however he chooses to. But I'm not a person who asks for signs. I never do. But tell me why, when he threw all the chips, this one little chip hit my shoe. Out of all of those, it was probably about 60 chips, and they all landed on the front row. And I'm like on the 5th row, and this one little chip said, right in front of me. I looked around, and I said, nobody else has a chip that hit their foot but me. You know, not saying it's anything, but to me that was something, because what I was going through, the message he spoke about, it all was the word of God speaking to me. And this entire week, people, they're like, is this Uncle Drew's vent session? But just, you know, I want to get it off my chest. This whole week, I have been faced with making decisions. Decisions that will affect me financially, affect me in my relationships, affect me in my life in general as a man. Not Uncle Drew, not as a minister, but just simply as a person. And for a month and a half, I've been feeling this. What do you choose? What do you choose? What do you choose? My mama told me this, guys. She said, you're always speaking to the kids. You're telling the kids to know their identity, take their minds, take your thoughts captive, and live and commit to the works of Jesus, and let all this stuff go. Then she said, and when you're faced with it, what do you do? So today, I made some huge decisions in my life. I had everything scripted, elect your kids and parents. I had everything scripted of how this was going to end. But I'm about to show you a glimpse of what I have been going through and what my life has been looking like as I've been coming up here every week to share with the energy, doing the events. But just know, after this series, if you truly gain your identity, parents, pray and cover your children. Pray for them and cover your children. Because the warfare and the games that the enemy plays trying to manipulate minds is around us. So real quick, let's go in our Bibles, okay? Let's go in our Bibles. In Matthew 16, and this is what I've been going through. Listen. Then Jesus said to his disciples, right? Everybody was gathered around him. Jesus said to his disciples, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me will find it. What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world, but to lose their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? And we're going to focus in on this. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. We know the cost of Jesus, what he did when he died for us. But he left us with a charge too. We don't have to give up our lives and sacrifice our lives. And we don't have to go in Israel or above to the nations and lay ourselves down and be a sacrifice, because Jesus has already paid it all. But as we think about our lives and as we transition, as we grow, the more responsibility we have, sometimes those things will be used as distractions to keep us off our focus. So we must daily have to consider the cost of what it means to be a disciple. So as I was looking at this, and as I was thinking about everything I was going through, y'all, sometimes, like for the past 4 to 5 weeks, it's been hard for me to sleep at night. I've been scared to go to sleep because I'm like, I'm going to be up all night, tossing and turning, boom, boom, boom. But I'm good because now I know the cost. I know what is required of me to be okay for the sake of the kingdom. God has called me to be here at CMBC. I don't know how long, I don't know why, but he has definitely called me here. And in calling me here, he wants me to commit to the works of God here. And to the parents and to everybody watching, I want to say this. I am committed to the works of Christ here at CMBC fully. I'm laying out on the table, letting everybody know Uncle Drew is fully committed. And you might be like, I thought you was already committed. And I have no idea what this message is turning, y'all. This is not on my script, but I'm liking it. I feel good as I'm speaking. So we're going to keep walking. This is the last episode. I can do it, right? Okay. So look, guys, everybody knows who knows me personally, I have a business, I have friends, I have all of these things, right? And I'm at CMBC and I'm having fun, I'm enjoying life. Oh, Uncle Drew is doing his lessons. He's doing everything he needs to do, right? It looks that way. But again, remember, I hit a point to where everything just started overwhelming me. Like I said, I was walking in the church, I was smiling, but then after I have to go and I have to cut some grass. And I'm tired. But then I get a call from a parent, or I get a call and I can't be there. I'm missing my students' games. I'm missing all of this stuff because I'm doing my own thing. We know we have to survive. We know we have to do things. But as I think about the scripture, and we're getting here, and I'm actually almost finished. The cost of being a disciple. One thing, when you see Jesus calling his disciples, you always see them. You always see him telling them to drop everything, to not forget about your family, to not love people, but to drop everything and fully commit to follow me. So I challenge you to those things that you are holding on to, that God is already speaking to you and saying, you know what? Make room for me. Let go of these things. I challenge you to drop it and follow Jesus. Hashtag drop it. Woo. So look, guys, my voice cracked. So look, guys, God has all this stuff that he wants for me to do here in my life. But I'm like, okay, God, I'm running a business, or, well, God, I have to be here. I have to do this. I have to do that. Oh, man, I got to make sure I'm at this spot. Woo, it's getting a little heavy, y'all. I have to make sure that I'm doing this, or make sure that I'm saving the money or renewing my lease, whatever things I've been going through in my life. To where I noticed that I was walking around with my hands full, dragging everything. I had all this weight on me, and I was wondering why am I feeling this way? Why am I not so excited? Why is my passion dwindling? I haven't been doing the things I was once doing. Why? Because I was carrying things that God did not want me to carry in the first place. The things I was carrying, It wasn't bad things, but where he has me now, he requires more of me. So until I made the choice, which was Monday, seriously, this past Monday, to drop the things that he doesn't want me to have, that's when my healing has started. So maybe I had to miss out on a little money and just drop it. Or maybe I can't be as available, so I have to drop it. Or maybe, I just have to let go of all of these things that's causing me to be confused, that's causing me not to be able to rest, that's causing me not to grocery shop, that's causing me not to take care of myself. And I had to free myself up for what God has prepared at my table. As we know in John, it says, who the Son set free is free indeed. And that is speaking about our salvation. But the thing is, as we said in the beginning, we are already free. Remember, we already broke the chains. We are already free. But sometimes when we want to go by our own agenda, we put all this stuff in our hands and we start treating our family wrong. We start being mean to others. I was mean to people. I was dry. I wasn't taking care of myself. And my hands were full. They were full and I could feel it. And I told myself, I can no longer walk and live this way. I cannot. If I'm going to give my full energy into the works of Jesus, I have to have my hands free and I have to be available. So what am I saying at the end of the day? Jesus told his disciples, you must deny yourself. Yes, it sounds good. It looks good. Yes, we want A, B, C, D. Yes, we want the PS5. Yes, we want this. But if this is going to take the place of him, we need to throw it away. And not saying that he will restore it and bless you with things, because he will. But he wants our availability, and we have to be available. I truly believe, Electric Kids, that you all have grown through in these last 2 series. I can see it. It shows in the virtual classrooms. So make yourself available. Commit to the word. Commit to prayer. Commit to worship. I'm not going to say see what God does. I'm not going to say if you do that, then God is going to do this. What I'm saying is commit your life fully to him. Because anything that's outside of him will bring confusion. It'll make you overwhelmed. It'll make you feel maybe depressed. I feel like I was almost there. Had a conversation with my mom and my friend. I said, I think I'm feeling depressed. I think I am. But I know I'm not, because I freed myself up. And the enemy, guys, the enemy is so slick. He will make you believe everything that you preach about. He will make you not believe in everything you speak about. And you will be tested by the things you profess. All of these disciples, remember Stephen in the beginning, he lost his life being a disciple. But we aren't even there. We're holding on to all of these possessions. We're holding on to all these things. After the chains were already broken, after we already have our identity, we invite it back in. But we're going to stop it right there and free yourself up. We must deny ourselves. And you know what it says after that? It's very important. We must pick up and carry our cross. What does that mean? We must be willing to suffer for the sake of Christ. I'm not saying that your life will be miserable. I'm not saying that. But we must be willing to commit. And what comes with committing with Christ, it causes you to lose friends. With people who are successful, with athletes, they're sacrificing. When they're committed to being athletes, they may not be able to go party all the time. They may miss out on sleep, working out. Who knows? They may have to miss out on things. Who knows? I don't want to keep talking in circles because I'm literally done. But picking up your cross, denying your flesh, denying your desires to please God is picking up your cross, because denying yourself is not easy. Turning down money is not easy, but it's so much bigger than what your mind imagines. I'm not going to say that God has plans that's going to supersede your every thought. I don't know, but I know that he has plans for us to commit to him and to follow him. So I want you all to know, keep praying for me as I keep praying for you. You are about to see new things done within this ministry, and we're claiming it. It's going to be totally different, but it's going to be great. I thank you all for participating in this series. And don't forget, we still shooting a movie. We still shooting a movie about identity theft. We're kind of getting it together, constructing it, but it's going to be great. But look, guys, I love you all. And remember, your chains are now gone. You are set free. Your debt is paid in full. You are no longer that person. You are no longer that insecure person. You are no longer depressed. You are no longer down. You know your image in God. Parents, pray for your children, cover them. Children, pray for yourself and know there is a cost to follow him. I love y'all. Y'all be good. And I see y'all soon, but just know with Jesus, everything is litty. Ooh, I like that dance. Boom!